Good morning. Let me first get a cup of coffee. So, good morning, Rick. That sounds delicious. I just had breakfast. Woke up a little bit earlier, went to work, heated everything up again, went back in here, and here we are. So I'm just going to add a few more things to the end process. I've been looking to each and every different element which I added, all the cocktails that I added last evening, to see how can we still kind of steer towards that orangey yellow. How can we still let the pigment separate a little bit more from this mustardy liquid here, without it setting down too much as like chunks, which I had before, but keeping like this emulsion and just cooking that in, letting that evaporate. I want everything to be the same temperature. That's why I have, like, there's a little solution here heating. I just heated this up as well. I'm slowly going to add that. This is not for coloration. This is more to let it stabilize in a later phase. Mind you, I just want to share these steps after I've done. Oh, there we go. It's it is. Oh, it's flocculating hard. You see that? You see what's happening here? Didn't expect that. I did not expect this to happen. So it is working. It is. Okay, so I wanted to keep it emulsion, but good morning, Matthias. I also wanted it to stabilize in its. That all the elements kind of grab together, and this is what it's aggressively doing right now. Well, not being an emulsion because of that, but I don't know. Somehow I don't mind this at all, because what I see here in this kind of layer, the top edge against the glass. Let me have a look if I need to start up my phone. That sounds a bit exaggerated. Let me have a look. Why am I not connected to this one? Is it connected here? Yes, it is connected. Let me see if I can show it. I don't know if I can properly show it, but that edge over there, just, that kind of orangey, it looks kind of orange. You see that? Just a very thin stripe of orange in that transparency. That's what I want. Right, and not everywhere. I mean, it's fine that I don't have that everywhere. But just seeing that color, so I made it way too late last night by kind of deciphering my steps, looking up what kind of reactions I should avoid, look for what kind of reactions I can kind of induce, is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. It just came to mind. I expected it to get a little bit cloudy because of this. This is a different salt that I'm adding. So basically, you know, when I'm talking about salts, I'm not talking about kitchen salts, but you have magnesium and calcium and you know, all kind of salts. That bind in a different way, that react in a different way, that also change the pH. Teddy, welcome. That change the color, you know. That so, and it's not all salts. Some are enzymes. Some are solutions or mixes of those things. With the cheap stuff that I started with, and you know, the cheap stuff is just less purified versions of actually all the elements I'm using right now. So the first time I made Indian yellow, the reactions were either too quick or too cloudy, or this is all way more controlled. Also, especially the start, I'm keeping that a secret. Just saying, you know, I showed the leaves yesterday, but I'm keeping my pre-step a secret. As well as all these mystery liquid ingredients. As you might understand, it's taken me. I think I literally. For me, it's been the weeks that I've been working on Indian yellow and getting Indian yellow right. That's what 60, 80 hours a week total on kind of work on it, and not the pigment, but the research, the reading, the finding everything out, because like the chemistry stuff is all new to me. But even without that being new to me, it wouldn't be a lot quicker. Right, so I'm turning it down right now. As you can see, it's especially when it starts turning now, you can probably see the flakes moving better here. When it's pulling apart, you see it. Ah, this is nice. This is nice. This is what this is. Yes, this is what I want to see, and this is also kind of what I didn't really expect to happen this much. I expect it to be more of an emotion, because right now I see some separating liquid happening already. Which I actually wanted to avoid this time, but I also wanted to form as a stable pigment. So maybe I should have added less of the previous mix. No, I shouldn't have. That's to stabilize it in a later phase. Okay, let's take a picture of it for my notes. Let's see if I can get this on camera as well. Whoa, what, Rick, what? Can you please share more? Gulchen, good morning. Purple hell, yeah, oh, she, her. They, them, I don't know what they, I shouldn't go there even. Shouldn't start pronouns when, I don't even realize I'm using pronouns without knowing someone pronouns, and even to having to think about it is not something my generation can handle. Can you tell me more without, needing to scroll through a channel while I'm actually... how can you mix that up? To make good notes and observations right now. Matthias, thank you for joining, and have a great day at work. Have to make my notes, keep my notes a little bit updated, because this is just, I expected it to be a little bit more cloudy when I added the last solution. I didn't expect this much of a reaction. I was in doubt whether to put half the amount in or the entire amount. When I did half, it already gave this reaction. Putting the rest in didn't change a lot. Maybe it lets the reaction continue a little bit more aggressively, but yeah, about trusting a seller in this. As I've said before, I had it was a dot actually. Someone made a dot of paint. It's just scraped it out of the pen and sent it to me, of someone who sold Indian yellow. They don't do that anymore. I contacted them, and it was a really good conversation, and a really honest one as well, and I really appreciate that. But it was marketed as NY20, as is in the corner of the screen right now. NY20 as, true genuine Indian yellow. but being like €5 for a half pen. So like a regular price for just a very regular pigment for handmade paint. Well, that was kind of, you know, questionable. Someone sent it to me because they had the same questions, and first thing, you know, seeing UV and microscope, there was no UV reaction, and in the microscope they're all untransparent lumps of probably an organic, like maybe a Hansa or Azo yellow. And you know, I contacted the seller. So okay, you know, I looked at it because someone had questions about it, and just no transparency. You know, I looked at your product. I'm not going to do anything with this. I didn't have a YouTube back then, but I want you to know that I don't really think this is real Indian yellow. And they said, okay, you know, I'm taking it, you know, off my website and everything because I had my doubts, but the seller was really being like really friendly and really honest about everything, and they sold it as NY20, so I just took that over, which is really honest, and we can have more of that, I think. But it happened more often that that people just take whatever is on a label. To be honest, the suppliers that I use, I trust them blindly. Sometimes it's directly from the manufacturer of the pigment itself, so there really shouldn't be any doubt. But you know, for a company like Gamer, for instance, I think they got their pigment numbers right. I trust on that. But I also know how the pigments act, so if I notice anything differently, I would have questions, but that never has happened with Gamer. All right. Now for the next step, I'm going to pour it in a larger beaker. Yeah, I am really glad that I have gotten a few messages, not a lot to be honest, but I've gotten a few messages with people like, I'm looking at this pigment, is this right? And from that, from every question I got, there was some reactions on the video that I made, so that's public. But I also got some DMs and messages through Reddit. But every time, you know, someone asked it, they had kind of the right supplier. I have never had to say to someone, I should be careful with that one. There is obviously there are two paint makers that I have asked if I knew that they were using the suspicious one. I asked if they knew that there's a lot of suspicion about that. Also with larger manufacturers. But they all denied my question. That's part of it as well, I think. All right. I'm going to quickly check the pH. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Oh, this is awesome. Right, from up close, and I can't share that with you because this will really never focus on that with the, because of the you know, the glass and the transparency and the pigment on it. But apart from this kind of the flakes that you see kind of happening here, through the flakes you see tiny little bit of a texture in the flakes. I don't know if I can, probably can't. Well, you might be able to kind of see the texture a little bit, but really from up close they are not just random, but they're all long in shape. So that long kind of needle-like shape is happening. Okay, so I'm going to add my last solution through this, and I'm just pouring this in this beaker since I don't want to waste any precious pigment that I made. Turning this a little bit up. So what this should do, it should, because this reaction happened anyway now, it should enhance this reaction even more, making it easier for the flakes to kind of grab around them, catch all the color they can, and form into a piece that can later sink down. So I'm going to first add half, and then we have this secret little bit of liquid that I'm going to pour after that. It has a bubbling sound. It has a bubbling sound. I don't know if I like that. I'm not quite sure if I like the bubbling sound. Rick, that's have a fun night, and see you next time. Thanks for joining, Rick. I'm not going to make this long anyway, by the way, because after this it needs to rest again for an hour, same as yesterday. Last night I let this rest on its like same temperature as it is right now. This is just a continuation of it, but after this step I need to really let it kind of marry again for an hour. Just see what's happening now. Should anything happen now? I don't know if anything's happening now. I will put it in my notes if it is happening. I'm not expecting anything right now, by the way. Nothing weird, at least. And it stopped. It stopped turning. Okay, making notes. This is enhancing the reaction even more. This is interesting. This is interesting. So pH is still good. It's kind of the main factor right now. This is super interesting. Because you see what's happening. It's not. I've turned it up a little bit. It wasn't spinning anymore at the top. It was just spinning at the bottom and separating at the top. It needs to keep spinning right now. I'm just going to. Sorry, Pigment, but I need to just wake you up a little bit. I don't want you to get nasty foam on top. I want you to mix everything in properly. Get all these little bit of liquids, cleaning the beakers with this solution a little bit. So I know I have all the active ingredients mixed in. Okay. Okay, it's loosening up again. Oh, no, don't turn it too low. Just low enough. So right now what I'm doing, this was actually just a step to kind of an insurance that I have over here, that if it wasn't turning cloudy, but it did kind of form agglomerates, that I could act as well. So this was just to be sure that if this happened, I could do this and let it actually grab all the color components around it and properly start separating from the inactive or how do you say that? Saturated? I don't know. It's not such overly oversaturated. I don't know. The inactive liquid. So it's where there's no any active compounds left, and everything has been kind of taken and used up. All the reactions have taken place. Okay, let's see if we didn't just kill it. No, we didn't kill it. Okay, that's good. Did not kill it. But we didn't make it orange glowing as well. Maybe that's just the age. I'm not quite sure. What I am sure about is that I'm going to turn it back on. The foam is just because I probably had turned it on too hard just now. While pouring in this, so there was just air sucked in. But that's that's okay. That's nothing wrong there. But right now, I actually need to let it rest for an hour. So this has been interesting. Let me quickly, let's have a look. I put this down. You can just see it is really interesting how it separates and then mixes again, and it's what I want this to. I'm going to take a picture of this. This line, what you see in between here, that's kind of the separating a liquid. That this is not an emulsion, but this is just mixed a little bit harder than whatever is here. So everything on the top here just goes that way and is being poured in to the stream again by this. But you see it keeps separating, and because of this line, which is good, but I just keep spinning it on temperature right now, because I want that liquid, that separating liquid, to have touched all these solid particles you see here, so that all the color compounds, if there's any active color compounds left in that liquid, I want it to be caught by these pieces just in this stream. So that's the idea of what I'm doing right now. And usually this is done with natural enzymes and fibers in the cow's stomach, or one of its stomachs. I don't know how that works with the cow, or its bladder. I have no idea how it exactly works in which part of the cow. But chemically, this is its last step before I have something that has the same compounds in it as the cow's urine, before it is evaporated, collected and evaporated. So what I had yesterday was kind of that, but unstable. The crystals did form, but they didn't fully absorb everything yet. so to speak. I don't know, crystals can't really absorb. Maybe some can, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to get that right, because I have no knowledge of that. Going to turn it down a little bit more, so we have just a almost a gentle folding movement on the inside, where this is just folding and being turned up, being dragged up back again. Right, so what I'm going to do next with this, and I'm definitely going to take a picture of everything again, because I really want to get all the steps. I don't know, I'm taking this to my grave, but you know, no, not really. Before that time, I will share my recipe to the kids, but this is really interesting. Sorry, I actually have to say, I find this really interesting. Maybe some people find this terribly boring. Zantrua, welcome. Well, you have probably missed the last, I don't know, 12 streams, because I've been more of a lab than a paint make studio lately, but all about, still about pigments. Yesterday I made some paint. I think that counts. And all the pigments that I make, I do try them to make paint. I make swatches of the manganese green variant that I made yesterday, for instance. By the way, I did want to tell. Yesterday I showed the manganese green variant that I really need to be taking out of the crucible, but I also made my regular manganese green, the stuff that actually works and has proved itself in my UV chamber, and which I washed. I made a batch of that, not a big batch, but another batch. You saw the new kiln. Well, update. It was broken, but I made it again. So, so there was a bit of drama on my side, which no one actually got, because that happened between streams. Okay, I'm just now. Shall I? I want to just turn it off right now, just to see what it does. Let me get the exposure on that camera a little bit better, though. Where is that camera? There it is. Let's see if we can autofocus it, but we won't autofocus it. Then it will. Let's put the exposure down a little bit so we can actually properly see it over there, and then just zoom in a bit so you can actually see what I'm talking about with the pigment a little bit better. This is better, right? I think this is good. So I'm going to let this run for at least an hour now. After that, I will evaporate it. And I thought, you know, I have an oven dish that I used for that I used before for as a to catch the pigments that I put through a mesh. But right now, actually, and I used it for I used the deeper half. This is just the lid of it. I used the deeper half. I used that for Maya pigments to let them dry and set in the oven. But I want to see if this fits in my dehydrator. Making sure it's fully clean. Also a touch of alcohol to just be sure that it is fully clean. That is clean. And now it doesn't fit. Well, can I say it really doesn't? No, I'll make it fit. I will make it fit. It will fit, but I need to put it on a shelf. I really hoped it would fit like this, but that's okay. So I will pour this here in this, in case that wasn't clear. And let this fully evaporate. What I want to avoid is it getting an entire black layer, you know, like the rest did before. So I need to think about how I'm going to do that. Maybe a cloth around it, but not touching the pigment. So there's less of a harsh draft while still having the heat and the moisture being able to escape. Maybe that's a good option. The issue is I don't want to evaporate. That's just that's laziness, being really honest. I don't want to evaporate just a tiny bit to find out that, you know, it works, and then I'll have to evaporate everything else. Maybe there's been a reaction or a contamination with this while I was waiting for the other thing to happen, so I don't want to do that. I want this batch to fully work. Too funky. Oh, I could work with this. As long as there's no singing. Never mind. Come, instrumental. Can we do that? Can we do that? We can't do it, can we? Okay, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm first going to let this set, marry, settle for the next 55 minutes. Because I did notice patience is key here. Absolutely. And Oh, I fixed the chat thing, by the way. It was super stupid what happened. Looking at this, I have a really hard time believing I can get something like as saturated as this. Then again, I know that at least there have been some talks, notes, people saying that saffron, was it saffron? Turmeric. Turmeric. Yeah, turmeric was added to the puree, to that bowl of Indian yellow, to enhance the color. Saffron would have been kind of, I mean, it's expensive, but looking at that orangey glow, it would make sense. So I'm not quite sure what companies did back then or what they still do, because there are still companies enhancing their pigments and selling it as something different. Primatech. Anyway, oh wait, I need entire Stewart sample line. Am I still live? Oh, sorry, I'm talking out loud. So this is an update. If there's anything, probably most of the OGs will watch this later, which is fine. Let me know if you did, because if you hear this right now, it means that you lost it to the end of the stream. I'm going to clean up a bit. I'm going offline as well. I mean, I can just, you know, I can let this or this stand for the rest of the day, but I don't really think that that will be an interesting stream. Well, I can definitely do that, Gulsen, but I want to have this pure first. I want to see what this does after it dried, after it kind of sets and has properly been combined and I don't know how to describe that. I want the reaction to have fully taken place. When do I think I'll stream again, Teddy? Not quite sure. I mean, if there's any developments here, I'll go live as soon as possible. Basically, that's what I've done this morning as well for the last 50 minutes. I wanted to just give you this update and see for myself as well. I mean, this is, I know what I'm adding every step. You don't. I know what I'm adding. But I'm also too lazy if I do this myself without streaming to film everything, to make a video of everything. So this is really convenient for me as well, just as a form of archival process, capturing my process, I think. And to be honest, that secret first step that I'm doing before I have the custard liquid is basically very boring, not straightforward, but very boring, very time consuming, and something that really happens overnights, multiple ones, before I can actually start heating it and you know, making that liquid I started with yesterday. This again. Maybe that's just a cue. Guys, I'll keep you updated. As I promised as well, I mean, I have the Kamala standing here still. Maybe just add a little. That would be an interesting mix, though. That orange of the Kamala. I mean, it's not at all like It misses the vibrancy of what I have here. Mel, if you see this, I can't thank you enough because of this, but this has also given me frustrations because this is such a beautiful yellow, orangey yellow, Indian yellow pigment, especially the Reeves and Sons. The TJ Morris is just a little bit less saturated. It's more like a brownish. There's definitely a clear difference here, especially in this wash here. Also the way it flowed as a watercolor. So this has been absolutely an invaluable asset for me to use, but also, especially looking at it next to it, it has given me a greater level of frustration getting it right. I mean, I think you've put the bar just higher than I might be able to reach. Thank you, Teddy. Glad you enjoy this as much as I do, I think, because I do really enjoy this. And lady, could you just... I do enjoy this a lot. But as I said, it has given me some frustrations, to be honest, because I thought I nailed it in the first step, in the first actually version of Indian Yellow, and then I found out that I was just working with stuff that wasn't pure enough, not good enough quality to. There's a lot of like background noise happening within the pigment that didn't really make it set the way I wanted. I never got this reaction with the other stuff. I never got that mustard yet. I never got that emulsion. I never got to that point with that stuff. But I didn't manage yet to let this work either. Gulchen, that you might be very right there. The stuff that I have is not washed, so that's a distinction I need to make. Also with my pigment, it's okay to not have a neutral pH with this pigment at this stage. The balls of dry urine were just that, dried urine, and a complex of dried urine. They were shipped as is to the West, and here they were washed and processed to be made into paint. So the pigment wasn't washed in the bowls. What I have is unwashed, impure Indian Yellow. What this is washed. But these are also brands, and we know what brands can do. I think back then in the 1830s to 90s, they Daniel Smith wasn't around back then yet, but it still might have been possible that some things were added to the paint. I don't know. I don't think a lot of that would happen, but I do want to show you one thing before I go. Let me have a look. If I can share that on the screen here, if we can just have the, looking at genuine Indian Yellow, there's a lot of dirty blue here. How is that possible? I don't want to see myself. I want to see the real thing. I want to see the old stuff here, not just someone making it. Well, it's good to know that I'm around there, just sharing stuff, but it's not what I Forbes. Do we have the pictures of the Forbes collection? Where can we find the picture? Ah, here's the. So this is from the parisreview.org. And what I will share here is just this. A bowl of raw, unrefined pigment and refined stuff. And I have to say the raw one is really green. You have the greens, the browns, you have a lot of versions, a lot of oxidization stages, I think. Let me get to, this is still purple around me. Let me get to this part here. Another website, hinduaesthetic.medium.com, shows this, for instance. But you know, if you're just looking at Indian yellow, you find the raw pieces like this on Wikipedia. I don't think this is raw actually. I think this is actually a purified, same as this, very purified versions, very orange, very green on the outside, very clean looking ones. Here's a little bit of a better picture, but still there's, you know, from the Forbes collection, a lot of orange happening inside that bowl. Yeah, the Gulchen about that, and then I'm really leaving because I really want to clean up here and just get everything ready so I can pour this in and you know, in an hour without breaking my neck about you know on things or just stumbling on all the mess here, because of the pH. And I can show this. I can do this, right? Because of the pH being very pH sensitive, what I can do is just show you what happens if one would use a binder that has a complete opposite pH, and this is going to be extreme since this is a concentrated pH, and this is can I show it here? Can I where can I show it best for y'all? I think I can. Let me have a look here. I think I can show it here. So if you have a binder that is too much of the opposite that it wants it to be, what happens is you will lose a lot of the color. And I know this is turning red right now, which makes me question life at the moment. Okay, but it's also breaking down all the lumps that I had. Why is it turning red right now? So it gives warmth when I add such a strong pH. It gives warmth, but it loses all the flakes. So over time, my point was, while I was again mind blown by a reaction. The point is here that it breaks down the pigment. This is an extreme version, but over time a binder can do that as well. What is happening right now, I really can't explain at all. So two things are happening here. One is we are seeing a clear, warmer color. The other one is it breaks down the pigment completely. So I'm adding more pigment to the same liquid. That's just brown. No, it's not really brown, but it's not really what I want as well. And it's not lighting up anymore. Wait, it does light up a little bit of orange there. Okay. I'm just going to fully fill this with pigment and just see what happens. Is it solidifying again right now? It is. Okay. Okay, so it is solidifying. It's almost gel-like again. Some flakes are forming, but the flakes are really without any color. So this is just a very pale. This is dirty. It's dirty and it's yellow again. Its highlights are yellow. Maybe just if I Now we didn't solve the color problem, because the solution that just turned a warm reddish orange, if I add more of the this existing stuff to it, let me try it the other way around. I'm going to throw this out, if I can, because this has solidified. I'm not throwing it out, I'm keeping it. Obviously I need to check this at a later stage. I'm going to clean this tiny beaker, and I'm going to do the other way around, because what we did, we also fully destroyed the structure, the crystal structure that we made, that we worked very hard on to get. And we don't want that, but that warm indication that it just has given us. Let me just, let's have a look. How much is this? That's 2 milliliters, okay. With just 1 drop of this. And then just stirring that up. Doesn't give more orange now. It's a little bit warmer though. It's less highlighted yellow. Okay, that was 1 drop. Adding 1 drop. Again. 2 milliliters, 2 drops. I think we're already losing color here. Yeah. So this is not it. It's a form of it, but that's just brownish. It is a warmer. It has a warmer glow on it, as you can see. On the edge only. On that edge, but not in general. It doesn't glow anymore in general, whereas this does. So no, that wasn't that wasn't a solution. I mean, it was a solution, clearly. It was a clear solution. Wow, there are loads of missed puns over there. But this definitely doesn't work. So, yeah. What we have right now, I'm just going to work with that. because what I did over there just fully broke down any form that we worked on so hard. And maybe that red that it gave us, I mean, I can just empty this in here and see that it clearly gives a very warm, very red liquid. Very, but not glowing at all anymore. And there's no solids in here, left in here as well. Meaning, yes, we can make orange liquid, but not orange pigment. So I'm definitely going to look into this. Well, so what happened with the stuff that I just threw out? It almost fully solidified, by the way. This is really terrifying. Also, the separating liquid has solidified. That's disgusting. This is just a colorless gunk of what used to be a like really nice deep mustard yellow. So no. Okay, I'm going to look into this, but I'm not going to bother you with that. If there's any updates regarding this little thing that is a beautiful deep orange liquid, and you know how I can get a little bit of that color in here without breaking this down, I'll let you know. But I doubt if I can find out today. Interesting. Rather interesting. But also, I'm very grateful, you know, for this interaction and communication. I know it's a slow morning, especially, you know, with the views and the people in the chat. But still, Gulchen, Teddy, everyone, Zantrua, everyone here right now. Very grateful because these moments here are for me very educational, something to dig in even more, to have a look what just happened and why that happened and how I can use it in my advantage. So hopefully more on that, if not more on this later on. Everyone, thank you so much for joining and I'm hoping I'll see you very soon, hopefully with good news. Otherwise, neutral news. Hopefully no bad news. I don't know how that would, I mean, I'm going to evaporate this. I'm going to look into that. I don't think anything can go wrong right now here. Is there any wood I can... Yeah. I'm not counting on anything that can go wrong right now, but I didn't count on that either. So, I don't know. Bye, guys.